welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Dorks. I am John, joined as always. Thank you for being on my left, sir. This is Sam. Welcome back to the show, sir.
It's okay to be here.
It's always something awesome. This week, speaking of awesome, we have an amazing show planned for you guys. It is the I can't say this word. Inaugural first ever Wrestling Dorks Dorky Awards, celebrating the worst of 2017 in the WWE. We don't count NXT because you can catch the NXT show on the Tapped Out Podcast Network on, I think, Wednesday nights, something like that. One of those nights. Either way, just subscribe. You'll get us.
What are we, Thursdays?
We're Thursdays.
Okay.
So you guys listen. See, what's cool is you listen to us. You're listening to this show now while you're doing like your weekend chores, right?
Yeah, you seem to think like there's chores.
There's fucking chores. People are shoveling snow, or they're mowing their lawn, or they're like taking out the cat litter.
It's the first day of the week. There's no wrestling to watch.
That is. So like you're sitting there, you're like, oh man, it's Thursday. Kind of sucks. Impact's on tonight. You know what can I do? And like, oh wait, the Wrestling Dorks. They got that new show with the Dorky Awards. Oh my god! So you're listening to us, and you're like, here we go. It's time for the Dorky Awards. This show is where we celebrate, like I said, the worst of everything from 2017. And joining us this week, very, very special guest. You have heard him before on the show, but this time not live via satellite, live and in person. He is the third man. Dan, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Are you really, though? That wasn't very convincing.
I'm thrilled to be here.
Whoa, that was pretty convincing.
We're flying in guests now. Huh?
You paid for accommodations. I'm so impressed.
It's almost like that time we all went to WrestleMania together.
You guys remember that one? That was so great. When we were in WrestleMania together, do you remember that?
That's actually the premise of one of our awards later.
Yeah, we recorded an episode during that, and it got lost. So unfortunately, you'll probably never see the light of day.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were going to do a big get-together episode, but that's neither here or there. That was, 10 months ago?
No.
12 minus... It was like 8-9 months ago, back when we were still not even on the network, I think.
Ancient history.
Yeah, that was back in March. So, anywho, we're very glad to have you here, Dan. And joining to Dan's right, Sam's left, which you should always go left. I mean, everybody goes that direction.
You skip me.
You kind of go around. We have Emily also joining us from the West Coast. Welcome to the show. You're going to be our honorary stat girl for the awards show this evening. And we will go throw it to you when we have to.
All right, sounds good. I'll be a tiebreaker.
Oh, we like that. Well, hopefully there won't be any ties tonight because, there's 3 of us, there's 4 categories. I mean, how many ties could there be?
I bet there might be some ties.
Well, we'll see. There could be some ties.
Oh, what, Lord John, you're not going to allow any ties?
Okay, before we get to the awards, let's talk about this. So
This guy's name is Lord John. If
bullshit.
you're following him on Twitter, he should change his handle to @LordJohnMarlette.
There was a thing where I had a yearbook, and inside the yearbook, people wrote... You know how you write things to people in your yearbook? You're like, hey, John, have a great... Sam was reading it last night and was making fun of me because some people called me Lord John.
90% of the people that wrote to you, which you had a ton of people write to you. By the way, this guy played up his entire high school. I had no friends. The girls didn't like me. His yearbook, it was like the joke, and it's not really what happened wasn't funny, but it was when Chris Rock, I think, made the joke, those kids in Columbine that did the killing. He's like, there was motherfucking 6 of them. I didn't have 5 friends in high school. This guy is saying that he had no friends. Every single person in his class signed his yearbook. Hardly any of them were demeaning to him. And they all called him Lord John.
Well, for the last 17 years, I never called you Lord John, but your email address has been Lord John.
Oh, it comes out! He keeps saying, I don't think Lord John's a thing. I don't know where it came from. Oh, this is why I'm glad Dan is here to bring some clarity. So, explain to us, Lord John.
I don't know where it came from. I swear to whatever you believe in. There's
I don't know where it comes from.
I don't know where it came from. It's probably just something stupid that, I was 17. There was no internet.
You think you're better than everybody else, so you call me Lord.
Call me Lord John.
Maybe. I mean, maybe I just thought that I was better than everybody else, but I didn't have a lot of friends. Those were people, they were making fun of me in that yearbook.
No, I don't. There was numbers in there from chicks, call me, all sorts of things. There was dudes like, come up and party up at college. You ruled the roost. You were the Lord.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
I don't know where my nickname comes from.
I ruled the roost.
Who doesn't know where?
Go back to Penn Manor. He was in some classes with me. I ruled no roosts. There were no roosts ruled. I can tell you that much. I sat there, I was a fat dork, and I did art, and that was it.
You have to know where your nickname comes. Everybody knows, even if it's like a bad thing, they know where it comes
All right,
from.
so what's your nickname in high school?
My nickname was Pudge because I was chubby or fat, and so they called me Pudge or Pudger. There you go. It's quite simple how to explain it, but you can't tell me where Lord comes from.
Do you remember anyone calling me Lord John in high school?
I didn't know him that well, but he had a couple classes with him.
Lucky for you,
I
did.
honestly don't remember anyone ever saying
Notice he
that
didn't
to
sign
him.
my yearbook. Oh, no, he wasn't around. It was a year before. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I told you those people were just making fun of me. Can we get back to wrestling?
We can, but I just wanted to bring up.
This is an award show, and we're going to bring you all the usual fun you're used to with the Wrestling Dorks, but with an actual theme this time. So let's get right to it and bring out the first category. So we got the category's worst heel or face turn of the year. The nominees are Dana Brooke, TJ Perkins, Charlotte turning back into a face, and Mojo Rawley. Now, obviously, this is not the best turn because that would be Sami Zayn because that was just amazing.
No, it's not.
Dana Brooke's thing is on top of my mind just because it was 2 weeks and it made no sense. I mean, Charlotte was berating her, if you remember.
Yeah.
Treating her like shit. And then Dana turned against her and the crowd was all into it, but then it was just
I don't see the crowd. I mean, to me, she's like a throwaway character.
She is a throwaway, and that's why, again...
I don't think the crowd was invested enough in Dana Brooke for it to make a big impact.
Same with, for me, TJ Perkins. I mean, I watched the build up to it with, the feud he was in, and then the whole, he was going to be, with Neville and get a chance from Neville, and then to me, TJ Perkins isn't relevant enough to...
So maybe it's Charlotte's face turn? But that's kind of hard to vote against because we had to like her because of Ric Flair.
Well, you still like her and she can be a heel.
Yeah, I know, but we had to feel for her. You don't feel for a heel, unless it's Rufus. You feel for him.
I mean, I guess storyline wise, she just because her dad, the reason why we were supposed to like her was because of her dad. So, and that doesn't really
even though she betrayed him on national television and slapped him in the
told him
face.
to get the hell out of her ring.
And she's way more to me. She's the Nature Boy. So she should be a heel. She's more of a natural heel, with her. And when you look like that and you're born tall, statuesque, whatever,
you're born with fake boobs like that, it's really you really have to.
I don't think that's how it worked.
You don't think that's how it worked?
I think it would be more born as Ric Flair's daughter, not born with fake boobs.
So they're real.
No, they're fake, but I don't care if they're fake.
Oh, that's right.
I don't care if somebody gets fake boobs.
Care? I don't get it.
Why? If they want to do that, it makes them feel good and they look good. Great, grand, wonderful.
But do they look good?
I mean, I saw them online, and it wasn't a great job.
Oh, that's right.
But all this stuff's online. But that's not what this category is about.
Oh, that's right. It's an award show. Damn it, we got our tuxes on for a reason.
Speaking of boobs and a guy you hate, Mojo Rawley.
Let's just say Mojo Rawley. Any category he's in tonight, considering this is a worst of show, hands down Mojo Rawley.
That's going to be your pick for anything.
That's my pick, no doubt.
Worst person,
It could be worst female wrestler, and if Mojo Rawley is one of the nominees, then I'm going for it. So, what do you think?
Worst NFL friend?
I tried to like Mojo Rawley several times, and he just...
Yeah.
Every time.
All right, then.
I just didn't like his heel. I didn't think it came off when it was in the ring. How he did it, and the punching, and whatever. It didn't come off to me believable.
I think it needed to happen because everyone wanted to hate Mojo anyway.
Right, yeah.
But
I think it needed to happen. Whereas Charlotte is better heel. Mojo, I don't know what he's probably better. I mean, that type of character where you have all that energy and stuff. To me, that's always going to play towards the face, that maniac-ish, whatever. But I don't know what he's ever going to be.
It wasn't working though.
Yeah,
nobody cared.
So we're going to go with Mojo Rawley? Come on.
And we can tag him then in this, and I'm sure he'll like it or respond to it.
He has liked some of our tweets in the past when we were talking to him.
Well, he liked your hate. No, he liked your hate.
Yeah.
Because he was basically just saying, you're an ass. Which I can agree with.
That's nice of you. So our winner of the worst turn of the year...
no blame towards Zack Ryder, my boy, because, he tried to get him some, I
want to say... Can I say it? Can I just get the words out? The winner of the worst turn of the year, and probably the worst character of all time in wrestling, but that's not what this category is.
I don't know about all time.
Yeah, that's going a little far.
Let me have my little Mojo hate moment. Mojo Rawley, you're the worst. All right, so fellas, moving on to our next category here on the first ever Dorky Awards. Worst newcomer of the
inaugural.
Year. Yeah, you could say inaugural. That would be assuming we do it again. Don't you have to do something again?
Can I say it? Inaugural?
Inaugural?
Yeah.
Inaugural? Inaugural? Is it inaugural or inaugural?
No, I don't know.
Which is it? Inaugural?
Inaugural.
So there's like a Y. Like a Y sound. I know there's not a Y in it. I know it's inaugural.
Well, I don't think it can be first annual because it hasn't been annual yet because it only happened once.
So you can say inaugural.
You could say inaugural or first ever. Yeah.
Okay, first ever Dorky Awards. Welcome back to the show. We just went off on a tangent there. Worst newcomer of the year. And now this does not count anything NXT. If they debuted in NXT, that's not a thing because you can listen to the NXT show here on the Tapped Out Network and get all your NXT news. But new to WWE main roster.
Throwing out plugs, I say.
Fuck you, I am. All right, so Sarah Logan is one of our nominees. Mike Kanellis, the Singh brothers, and the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. Dan, take it away. What do you think about these ones?
Right off the bat, I want to say nothing against Ty Dillinger at all. I don't think any of that would be his fault. If he, the fact that he's even on the list, I don't think it's his fault.
Right.
It's
this idiot to my right's fault.
Okay, you come up with someone else. I'll do all the legwork if you want. Jeez. So, yes, Ty Dillinger's on the list.
I also think Singh brothers...
Ty Dillinger, you made the list.
I also think Singh brothers don't deserve to be on this list because they're
pretty terrible.
He put them on there because they're Muslim.
I think they've done a really good job. Like, with everything they've had to do, like, they've done their role perfectly. Maybe not perfectly, but, like, as best as can be
Those
expected.
Orton bumps, come on.
Yeah.
That's true. He did drop the one on his head. You gotta give him some credit for that.
And the work scissors are so, like, tiny. They're so easy to throw around. That's kind of nice.
It's kind of nice.
Sarah Logan, it's not the best debut and not the best couple weeks or month or whatever.
Awfulness.
But I think it's maybe still a little too early. And plus, like, she hasn't really... I don't know how long she's been, like, working overall. Yeah, but she didn't have much time in NXT even. At least not on TV.
I don't even remember in NXT. Did she do anything over down there?
Yeah, she was on a couple times at least. She didn't have like any. I don't remember her having any like solid storylines or anything. But she at least had like some TV matches.
I think it's odd that they called her up because usually the call ups are people that you've seen. I guess it's just to fill the roster for the Royal Rumble is what it's got to be. They're just calling up people that look different.
Yeah,
that's what it is. We talked about that before. You got a blonde, you got a dark hair girl.
There's only so many colors of hair though you can run through.
Well, I don't know. Sasha's purple. Like they'll just keep coloring them different.
So I think it might be a little too early to judge her on that.
Yeah.
She could very well end up being not panning out at all.
The next big thing.
She could be the next big thing.
Mike Kanellis, on the other hand, and again, like I don't know how much of this is his fault, but he's been. When did he debut? It had to be like spring at least.
Yeah, right? I think it was spring.
Yeah.
Like right after Mania, maybe.
It's just weird. I guess, his. Yeah. Because he went straight to main roster, didn't go into NXT, and he came from TNA where, at the beginning at least, and he had I kind of like this thing. He was Mike the Miracle Bennett, and kind of like this character. He got wins, he was a heel, whatever, and then he came into WWE, and I guess it was off of, like we were talking earlier, he came off of rehab, came in, and just never really seemed to go anywhere. He had that little bit segments in the back with Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think he jobbed to Bobby Roode in like 90 seconds on an episode of SmackDown. I would almost say I know it's worst newcomer to me, maybe most disappointing for me because when he came in, I thought, they could do some of this. He's got a valet, Maria, that everybody knows, and I guess now she's out due to pregnancy. But
although if we're doing most disappointing, I think Ty Dillinger's back in the conversation.
True,
that debut at the Rumble. And then
that was great.
To debut at number 10 and then
which
fall apart. And then he was like in the U.S. title picture for a little bit and then just nothing.
He at least got in like that U.S. title, stole a win, I think, in one of the matches. But yeah, I would go Kanellis for worst.
Yeah, I got to go out of these four because I looked at all the debuts of 2017 and really some of them were good. So I can't put them under worst. And these were like literally what I could find as the four worst new characters to the WWE programming. And I think Kanellis is the worst because he's kind of not around anymore. And when he was there, he was shit. So really, I say Kanellis.
Kanellis, but I do think what they'll do is they're going to repackage Sarah Logan as just Logan, and I think that's going to totally change her character because they give you either your first or your last name, and it's really supposed to spur you on. So
yeah, that's true. That could be
Logan, and she joins the Bludgeon Brothers and becomes their manager. And you have Logan, Harper, and Rowan.
Rowan,
right with that.
Yeah, Logan.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey, we're not here to write storylines. We're here to tell them what the shitty shit they did this year. So our winner for worst newcomer, sorry, Mr. Kanellis, but you have made the list. All right, so fellas, this is the category I think is the most fun to talk about just because of the name of it. You came up with it just the other night.
Yeah, go figure. I came up with the name Blue Balls.
Yeah, it's the Blue Balls Award, which we could call the Sam. I'm not supposed to say your last name.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Sam.
Blue my Balls. Social. Don't have my.
So, talking about your balls, we're talking about the bluest balls.
No, I give out the blue balls. Yeah.
What do you mean?
You never given a chick blue balls before? You don't get them there, and you're just like, oh, I'm done. See ya.
Really? You do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm done, I need a few minutes.
Oh, so wait.
Chicks get blue balls too.
What okay, so you're doing your thing, which is probably horrible.
Yeah, I know. I know this.
So then,
and you just gave out my full name. We're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah, I probably should edit that out, but. I could bleep it. Oh, that's it. I get a bleep
You could use
noise.
a bleep thing.
Yeah.
So you're doing your thing.
When I just agreed to come on here, I assumed it was a wrestling.
Have you been listening? Do you know what show you're on?
I haven't listened to the last 10 episodes. We switched over.
It's
pure sex talk.
Wrestling today.
So wait.
This is Attitude Era Wrestling.
So you do your thing.
Yeah.
They're immediately grossed out.
No, it's not. They're grossed out. They just don't get there.
Oh, they're still into it.
But they're like almost there, and then you're like, well, I just finished, and then. They're like, I wasn't there. You blue balled them. They didn't get there.
Blue ball it? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the concept of blue balls, and now we're going to take that to wrestling. Since Dan's here, we have to talk about wrestling, which makes no sense.
Yes. Go ahead.
So this is where there was an angle that was built up, and got no payoff, Sam style.
You got excited. You thought there was going to be something awesome, and then it didn't happen.
Just didn't happen. So our nominees this time around are Truth and Goldust, the Jason Jordan being Kurt Angle's son, the Fashion Files, and the Big Cass Enzo split and Big Cass's singles push.
Yeah, I would say more of the Big Cass.
Right, yeah, we're just going to kind of throw it all.
Yeah.
So let's start bottom to top here, because the Big Cass thing is an intriguing one because it did stop
on
short.
The top of the blue balls? Okay.
Yeah, top of blue balls. It was stopped short by injury. So do you think, Dan, that was like, it would even be on this list had he not been injured, or do you think it was just kind of like it wasn't going anywhere to begin with?
I'm not sure it was going anywhere to begin with, because they had that shark cage match or whatever. And I don't know. I don't know if that was supposed to be the big payoff to it.
Right.
I think that might have been the blow off to their feud, but I don't know. To me, it felt like I thought they put a lot of effort into this to make Big Cass like a player. But
I mean, it's a tough thing to predict, because like after that match, like if that was the end of the Enzo versus Cass feud, I would say that definitely fits the category, because that was super.
Yeah, there was no payoff to that feud, which we all knew there was no way in hell that Enzo could actually win against Big Cass.
Yeah,
so what do we think the payoff could be? So maybe they, I think, fucked us over by building up something that wasn't there to begin with.
Yeah, because maybe, for all I know, the next step was just like, okay, now Cass starts his singles career, and it goes to 205 Live.
Yeah, to me, I'm fine with. I knew Enzo was going to get destroyed. However many matches they wanted to do it in, it's fine. Yeah. I just thought more of like, I'm interested to see how quickly they push Big Cass and where they go with him, because they needed another big guy. They have Braun there now. Who knows what they would have done with Big Cass? Would have he gotten a shot at Brock even? Who knows? They needed matches for people where they weren't. And remember where Braun, they ended up having a job Braun to Brock.
Yep.
Maybe Big Cass gets that spot. They build him up, and while he loses to Brock, he got main event. Who knows?
It's a little off topic, but do you think when Cass comes back, anyone's going to care at all?
They're going to act like it's a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're not going to care, and they're going to have to rebuild him. He's not going to be able to debut as the top.
Maybe he comes back in the Rumble. Yeah. That's a popular place to come back.
Come back at the Rumble, and then have him beat some jobbers or something. Do like what they do with the Bludgeon Brothers, what they did with Braun. You can rebuild big guys as monsters. You really can.
Or he comes back at the Rumble and eliminates somebody big or takes somebody out.
Right. No, it could happen. So that's possible blue balls. Fashion Files is a personal... Because
you hate it though for the most part.
I hate it.
So you weren't excited to begin with.
Because there is no payoff, and I feel like there's not going to be one. So it's hard to put it on this list. But I had to put. We're doing a show about the worst things of the 2017, and because this is my show and I hate the Fashion Files, it's on this list somewhere. I know you guys love it, so convince me why it's so great.
Well,
because it's funny,
entertainment, enjoyment out of it.
Exactly. You can have. Look. WWE is about providing different things for different reasons to different people. This is a humor segment, and that's fine. I like it. I got some entertainment out of it. That's all I wanted out of it. I wasn't expecting like a giant payoff for like, what is this mystery? It's stupid, and I get that. Like that was the entire concept of it. It's just a stupid, fun thing. So I don't
the
think
whole search for like who was the actual whatever. I don't even remember what we were looking for. What was
2B?
What was it? Who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think that any of that ever mattered, and I don't think it was supposed to matter. I think it was just a vehicle for these two guys to keep having fun and keep making people happy.
So you guys are going to give me Mojo Rawley, but you're not going to give me Fashion.
Yeah, I don't think it hangs on this list because I don't think anyone, if anyone was seriously invested in what the mystery is, like they were kidding themselves.
I just more want to see would it lead to them getting more like TV matches or anything, but it really didn't. Yeah. Wonder what they sit there. I mean, I know they wrestle probably a lot of live events, but I wonder if they're like, we ever going to get involved in like a TV program with matches again? Or
they had that one match on the pre-show against the Bludgeon Brothers. And got
guess as long as the checks keep rolling in, who cares?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, this is an odd one because it's the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle son. Now you have to take yourself back like 6 months when Kurt Angle was constantly on the phone. And remember, Corey Graves was involved in the storyline, and we're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?"
Yeah, Corey Graves kept like having to step away from the announce
what's
table.
What's going to happen? And I feel like there was such a build-up, and then
so this might be more better titled as the Kurt Angle storyline than the Jason Jordan storyline.
That's a good. Okay, so and then it turns out that the big reveal was, and first of all, it didn't help that the internet had already blown it all up like crazy.
Well, the internet ruins a lot of things.
They do ruin a lot of things, like your sex life. But like, so then we find out it's Jason Jordan. You don't think so?
No, what? If I'm not getting any, what the fuck's it? How's that going to ruin
maybe
it?
you don't have the desire to go out and
I'm not pulling things in just by going out. I don't think even know. I've been out before. Trust me. It's not being thrown at me.
Oh, it's not. But maybe it would
this guy, Mr. I'm fucking getting pleasure 13 times a day. I don't need to go on the internet.
What? I never said 13. I did say day, but I didn't say 13. So okay. So all right. Where the fuck was I? Oh, the Kurt Angle angle.
Yes.
All right. So then it turns out that at the end of the angle, it was that Jason Jordan was his son, and we're all like, man. At least I was. Were you, man? Were you blue balled?
I mean, I kind of knew that it was either going to be him or Gable. Pretty much is what it felt like it was going to be based on.
But here's the thing:
who was on the roster?
But we didn't know throughout the whole call that it was about him having a son.
Yeah.
Remember there was
a
Kurt Angle
if you suspend not going on the internet. Yeah.
Right. Remember you weren't. Yeah. Pretend you're doing other things on the internet, which is a stretch for you, I'm sure.
I think it had potential to be something a lot cooler.
Can I jump in?
Oh
sure.
my God.
We need to.
I thought that Kurt Angle was having I'm Emily, by the way. I thought that Kurt Angle was having an affair with Steph. I really wanted it to go that angle.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
And then
that's kind
Triple
of
H and Angle.
And then it could be like Triple H versus Angle. That was where I thought it was going.
That would have been.
Could have been something.
See, and again, because it wasn't something that awesome.
But I think the only reason they may not have gone that way is because it might be unbelievable. I mean, a lot of wrestling is unbelievable, but the fact that they'd still be seen all the time in public together and shareholder stuff, and
What do you think? Blue balls? No.
Oh, you're saying this the top number one?
No. I'm just saying the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle thing.
I was definitely let down by it. Now, asterisk here. I think it ended up working out.
I think it's working out great too. I mean,
but at the time, I was definitely like,
There's a bunch of ways they can go right now. It's kind of
it's actually very interesting. New tag champ. I blew it up. He didn't get to watch Raw.
You're the worst. Yeah, if you would have watched, you would have saw it coming. I did. The way they spoke in the back before the match, they kind of I thought foreshadowed that the title change was coming.
Yeah, like Jordan, this is your last chance to prove yourself, and that kind of shit.
Seth Rollins was like, you can't just keep getting close. I'm like, okay, so Jordan's going to get the win for him.
Yeah.
All right, so then our fourth nominee is the R-Truth Goldust feud.
I don't know why we were invested in this, but I guess we were.
We were because we're lifelong fans, and we've liked these guys for a long.
I just wanted to see something my thought was, all right, the person that goes over in this feud then at least gets another feud with somebody else and puts somebody else over. To me, what is the point of having these feuds where one person ultimately goes over if they're then not then used to propel somebody else and another feud? That's the way I think of it. I guess it's too sports-like almost, but to me, I wanted either Goldust to get another, although he's had 50 reincarnation mini runs, but another run after going over against R-Truth, or maybe he drops the Goldust gimmick altogether. This was going to lead to, and it goes to the natural. He finishes his career as the natural Dustin Rhodes. I wanted something like that.
I was interested. I was invested in this, and I shouldn't have been because Goldust is the king of not his fault again,
right?
But any Goldust Cody and Goldust are
starting. Oh god, that was ultimate blue balls.
That ended
I'm
with
thinking
nothing.
main event at Mania. I'm like Cody and
Even if you go back to GTV, like Goldust, a thing that never paid off.
That was one of the storylines. I was saying that's ultimate.
I shouldn't have been invested in that as I was because it.
And I bet you, like anybody under the age of 30 didn't give a shit about this.
Yeah,
because really they don't remember Goldie from '96 when he was like kissing Ahmed Johnson and things like that. You know what I mean? Like those kind of things. But because we followed Goldust up and down throughout his career, you wanted him to finish with one last.
And I was liking the back and forth they'd have with the tape vignettes where Goldust was going back to like different movies like he used to back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, they're really
Goldust, and then it kind of went nowhere.
I'm like, they're really investing in this because they were giving it time.
It's Blue Balls, so we're gonna say
that's my pick.
The weirdest story or the least impactful storyline of the year also happens to be our Blue Balls award.
Well, there's been probably a million impactful storylines.
True.
I'm saying this was the one for me personally of all the ones where like, all right, they're finally doing something, and there was like week after week after week of build up, and you were like, all right, and then nothing. Yep. That's Blue Balls.
Yeah, I think this list for me comes down to Big Cass and Our Truth of Goldust, and Our Truth of Goldust.
There we go.
Totally wins it.
Goldust, you've won your last award probably in WWE, and it is a Dorky Award for 2017 for the worst Blue Balls. Okay, fellas, on to the next category. The nominees for Worst WWE Segment of 2017. This Is Your Life, featuring Bayley and Alexa Bliss. Biscuit Butt. You remember Biscuit Butt, right?
Yes. I don't like that term.
You looked it up? Or I looked it up and we told you it's an actual thing. It's not just...
Yeah, it's dumb.
Okay.
Go ahead.
LeVar Ball being on Miz TV, which is one of Dan's personal favorites. Yeah, you loved it.
That was awful. It was awful top to bottom.
Jinder Mahal's racist promo not that long ago on Smackdown when he was talking about Nakamura and his eyes that wouldn't open, which is that high class stuff. And then to round it out, Ziggler making fun of Nakamura for being like Michael Jackson and a rock star. So what do we think? Let's talk about This Is Your Life. When you Google worst WWE, you don't even have to fill out the rest of it. This Is Your Life floods your search. I know it floods your search when you look up things on the internet, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm talking about when you search WWE.
I don't need to search. I know where to go for it.
Okay, you have it bookmarked on your phone?
Just got to know the sites.
Porn. We're talking about pornography.
Let's work at this. Look at this backwards. Because I'm pretty sure This Is Your Life is going to be our winner.
I can tell you that it won the Twitter vote.
You know right.
I mean? It did. It was pretty handily. But I still feel like these shitty things need to be talked about.
Yeah, for sure. So let's look at it backwards and try to eliminate stuff. I think between Jinder's racist promo and Ziggler's Nakamura promo, there are both similar things, both geared toward Nakamura, but I'm pretty sure racism would outstrip anything that Ziggler could say about him acting like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So I think we can eliminate the Ziggler-Nakamura.
And it would have made more sense for Jinder to cut this racist type promo if he's part of his whole thing was that he was tired of being treated differently for his beliefs and skin color.
He's making racist comments about somebody who So it definitely beats. Ziggler Nakamura was terrible and it was awful, but it wasn't cringeworthy. It was just like, man, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas that
these are all pretty stupid.
Any of these three things, any of the other following three were cringeworthy. Like you almost wanted to turn it off.
Yep.
So we can eliminate the Ziggler Nakamura Michael Jackson thing. So what is worse? It's hard to think of worse.
I hate LeVar Ball more than just about anyone on the planet, maybe besides our president.
What about Mojo Rawley?
No, I'd rather Mojo Rawley be the president, first of all, and I'd rather him have children that play basketball. LeVar Ball's a terrible human being. I despise him. However, to me, it was not the worst thing. Actually, I don't know. Like I watched it, I got a little bit of enjoyment out of it. I did because he was into it. As stupid as he was when he came to the ring with his shirt off and the kung fu moves that he was doing, and then to top it off, you have his kid dropping like the N-bomb on the thing.
To me, that whole thing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
That whole thing came off as like. He had watched wrestling a long time ago.
Yeah,
he thought this is how you act when you're on a wrestling show.
Exactly.
It's just like this is not how you act.
And it was just so hard to watch. And that's what made that the worst to me. But again, the Twitter vote says. So we're saying that LeVar Ball was worse than Jinder being racist.
I would have the LeVar Ball getting my silver. I'd give it the second worst thing of the year. Even though I got some enjoyment out of it, it was still terrible. I mean. And then, but hey, guess what? He sentences kids to now live in Lithuania to play basketball. So,
who knows?
You know.
So let's get to the main event, which is Bayley. This is your life.
The
thing that WWE doesn't even talk about. It didn't happen. If you ask
the next week, it was barely covered, right? Or didn't even talk about it.
I think what's the name of the show that Corey Graves or not Peter? What's that guy's name? The DJ. Bring It to the Table was the name of the show.
Peter Rosenberg.
Yeah, Peter Rosenberg. They were talking about that promo, I think, the week after that, and all three of them were pretty much like, yeah, that was an embarrassment, and it was a mistake, and all that stuff. So.
It was so awful. Didn't she have, like, Bayley's ex-boyfriend?
The segment...
Come on, like, how did it go?
The segment ended with her ex and the other, whatever chick was, making out in the ring, which, again, that... like, what... Where was that supposed... That wasn't going anywhere. That was just there. I swear it was, like... I don't know if Vince had too much of his hand in this script or the writers were that bad, but it just seemed to be like crash TV, like bad acting, wasn't really going anywhere. And then you throw in characters that we had no build up to. Yeah. It was like an old teacher, and then some badly acted like ex-boyfriend.
I mean, they did a similar thing with Nick and The Rock back in
Oh, well, and that's what this was. They were trying to make it.
And that worked.
Yeah.
But this was...
I think they've done 2 or 3 since that Rock one. And I think that they all have gotten progressively worse to the point where we're probably never going to see that shit again.
Yeah.
So that should be it. So I think this goes without saying. The winner of the worst segment of 2017 is Bayley, This Is Your Life. So thank you, Biscuit Butt, for giving us the worst possible thing. The WWE doesn't even talk about it.
Wait. Why are you... It's the worst segment. Why are you attacking her? It's not her fault. She was given the material
she agreed
to work with.
She agreed to it.
Yeah, you're going to say, nope, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. I like Alexa Bliss. I think she's fine on the mic.
No.
Do not blame Alexa Bliss for that.
Oh, you just... you're not going to get laid by defending her.
I'm being honest.
She's not like going to hear this and go, Sam defended me. It's not the way it works.
She tried to save it. I think she tried her best. It was bad material.
Well, that bad material takes home the Dorky Award for Worst of the Year.
Yeah, worst segment.
Worst segment, not the worst wrestler or the worst ass. I mean,
you were blaming her for it. Worst segment, it should probably be the writers, whoever wrote that.
All right, writers of that segment, you lose. Thank you very much. Jeez. So next up, ladies and gentlemen, is the worst entrance music of 2017. This is a category that we felt we had to add in here because there were just some god-awful, generic shit in WWE nowadays. Wouldn't you agree, fellas?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots of bad stuff.
Lots of bad stuff. A lot of generic, guitar riffs, no words.
Yeah, I like words.
You like words, and you know what? Words to me in music...
I like real artists, too. I'm sorry. I like if you think about some of the classic songs, like, all right, Triple H, that's Motorhead.
Undertaker, that's Limp Bizkit.
Well, Roland.
Classic artist. Yeah. Really, yeah.
You got, well, at least there's a real friggin' Rev Theory for Randy Orton. There's actual, like, bands, and not necessarily they obviously not all wrote the song for them, but you find a song that fits you, and it just becomes like Randy Orton, even though he had a good song before,
right.
Voices, they found a better song for him, and now it's never going to change.
Right.
So now these suck.
These are some shit. So first up, Dan, let's talk about the big cast, because we already had big cast nominated earlier in the category of...
There we go.
Oh. It just doesn't make me think big cast is coming to the ring. Yeah, I'm not like... So what, a big thunderous... like
It's just too generic.
It is. It doesn't... Like, even if it just said, big! Or, there has to be like that pop for me.
Yeah,
there has to be that opening thing.
It just seems like they just have a bunch of like, hey, let's record a bunch of different beats and whatever, and then we'll pick out a guy at some point that's going to use this shit. Like, instead of somebody writing it to... If you're going to have generic shit, in my opinion, it should be written, like, custom almost. Like,
right.
I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah, to me, it kind of it sounds like a wrestling theme, and that's not a good thing. It doesn't stand out as its own thing.
You know what it sounds like? In WWE in the 2K games when they have like the generic.
Totally, yeah, exactly.
Like if you create a wrestler, you're like, oh, I need a song, but I don't want to use one of their songs. So you use like a.
That's probably where like the bad songs go to. Like, all right, this song's never going to anybody. Put it on a video game.
I bet if you go back through like 2K14, 2K15, you can find this song.
Yeah.
Probably like a different mix of it, but yeah, you'll probably
slightly
find it.
different chord or something.
All right, so this next one is odd because this is in the ladies division, and she's had the same fucking music.
Women's division, I believe.
Well, it was the Divas back then. But Mickie James has had the same music. This. Oh, Mickie, You're So Fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost...
It worked when she was like 25, but now she's pushing 40, and she performs her own music. So why not, like in TNA, let her perform have her own entrance music, which was way better than this. She used to come out at the beginning and say, "Hardcore Country," and then she'd come out.
I mean, that's not great either.
That's kind of shitty,
Better
too.
than this shit.
Well, this
Skip into the ring at 40 years old.
Yeah, this doesn't fit the 40-year-old lady character that she's trying to do now. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, she's not an insane little 22-year-old.
She's not doing the V-lick anymore.
And I mean, even when she was big in 2006, 2007.
Maybe
I wasn't watching.
It was still Trish Stratus time, so it was probably before then. Actually,
no, that's how she got it. You fucking retard. That was the V-lick match.
What? But I know. But I mean, was that 2006?
I don't know the year, but that's how she got over.
Yeah,
she was just stalking.
Oh, she got over.
Don't.
We're talking about years here, you shit.
I don't know. It was 10 years ago at least.
I don't know how relevant "Hey Mickie, You're So Fine" was in 2010 or whatever. It's even less relevant in 2007.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's anyone that no kids are gonna connect that.
And they could have changed the music when she came back, and no one would have cared. Even if it was a stock thing that was a little bit better, it just didn't have to be. You don't have to keep the same music from when you were here before. It just doesn't make any sense. Awful. It doesn't fit the character she's playing now. So let's move on to the next person. Now this one is different from the others because he has a receding hairline. This is Baron Corbin's new music, which odd, right?
And hey, there's lyrics.
Yes, I think you put this more on the list because you hate words.
No, I put this on the list.
How about they leave the song that's on now and they just switch the beginning back to the motorcycle, which I thought sounded cooler, and that was a cooler beginning.
I think the other song was more fitting.
Yeah,
and I liked his old. He doesn't do the old entrance with the spotlights anymore.
Right.
And I always thought that was really cool.
It was
I think
different.
this also falls into the same thing with Big Cass, where it's just a generic wrestling song.
The other one was Baron Corbin's song.
Yeah, exactly.
It was since he. I mean, I know going back to NXT, but still, even since he debuted, it was his song, and there was no need to change it.
Yeah, exactly. This one, more than any song that's changed recently, I don't understand why. That song was associated with him.
Yeah, even the spotlights kind of matched up with what in the music.
Yep.
It kind of and it just doesn't make sense why they changed it. So that's definitely one of the nominees. And our fourth nominee, somehow we couldn't find it on the internet to play for you guys. It could be because it's so shitty. But should we sing it for them?
Yeah. Get a drum beat?
Yeah. No, there's no drum beat. We'll just do it. In 3, 2, 1. No. That's it. That's all it is. It's that loops, over and over the song. This, by far, is the worst music. I cannot believe this music, was still around in 2017, because she's been around a while. When she came back, they brought it back. Again, back to the Mickie James thing. Why keep it? And secondly, it's just her name, said over and over.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even realize the first couple times I listened that they were chanting her name. I just thought they were doing a general chant because she's from island descent, which whatever we can talk about.
Back to that racism. Yeah.
No, and yes, her dad was a savage that killed his.
Oh, that's
girlfriend.
right.
I'm sorry, allegedly killed his former.
Right up the road, yeah.
His former paramour on the road.
Yeah, he killed a former paramour here on the streets of Reading. So,
no, it was in between Reading and Allentown. Yeah.
It was somewhere in this vicinity. The woman was murdered in cold blood, and now his daughter has a terrible entrance music. Actually, not now. She did, and then they changed it because they listened to the show and they heard how shitty it was.
Yeah, it's just bad. I mean, I feel bad for her that was her entrance
for me,
music.
it's hands down. Thank God they changed it. I think it wins.
I think what also, and this is maybe not fair to the person that wrote the song, but her entrance in general is just the most boring entrance. She literally just walks out, kind of glances around at the crowd, continues walking. That's it. That's her entrance.
Yep. Back to the video game thing. When you create a female wrestler in the 2K games, the default entrance is just a woman walking into the ring and looking around. And I looked it up. It's Tamina. That's not generic woman entrance 1. It's Tamina's entrance. So that's how boring her entrance and her music was. So hands down, winner of this category is Tamina's terrible entrance music. Congratulations. Okay, so next up, this is getting more into it, serious stuff. worst match of the year. Now, this could be worst stipulation or just like worst like botched match or just terrible shit that you couldn't watch and you don't want to watch it again because you realize how terrible it was. Kind of like if we had a match, it would be pretty good, but man, it would be on this category because I think
I would just tear you up. I'd work
so
stiff.
Bullshit.
I'd stretch you out.
You don't even know. You don't realize what kind of skills.
You probably can't bump worth of shit. So
you should see me locking a figure four. I can do a figure four. You don't even know, and I do the whole like thing where I swing my arm around. Baby, it'd be good stuff. So the nominees for this category: the House of Horrors match, which took place off-site. It was pre-recorded because it was daytime.
Partially pre-recorded.
Because I think it was in San Jose was the event, or it was in California somewhere. And the pay-per-view
it transcended time, the match.
Yeah. God damn it. Don't cut me off. It was between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Then we had the kendo stick on a pole, which going back to the This Is Your Life, it was Biscuit Butt and Bailey. And then we had the Trick or Street fight, which, who was it? It was Rhino and Heath Slater versus
the Club.
The Club.
Yeah.
And then Orton versus Rufus, the 12-second affair at SummerSlam. So, Sam, take it away. What do you think of these guys here?
For me,
yeah.
I'll just start with what I think for me is a clear winner, and I hate these damn holiday theme matches. Trick or Street Fight. We had another one on Raw the other night, the Miracle on 34 Street Fight, which there was another one of those like 3 years ago, another one before. These are terrible. It's disrespectful to the guys in the match. It's such a joke, and even when the guys are like you had said earlier, Dan, like shitting when we were talking shitting on the match, like. During the commentary, like realize how big of a joke it is. It's like the people that are in that match, like obviously are just meant to be taken as jokes forever. Like to me, after you have that match with the Club in it, you'd have to let at least 2-3 months go by before you would do anything serious with them.
I don't know if it affects them that much, but I think it's just a dumb waste of talent. Like putting them in a match like that. Like I don't think it's going to hurt them long term. But it's just a stupid match that's like a waste of everybody's time. It's not my least favorite on this list, but I think it's...
All right, so talk to us. What is your least favorite then?
I gotta go with kendo stick on a pole.
Wow.
This is an unpopular opinion, I like the House of Horrors.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I mean, it's not like a good wrestling match, and it was Randy Orton wearing the... dress pants and no shirt, and that whole thing was really weird, pushing a refrigerator over on each other. That whole thing was weird, but I liked it. I thought it was entertaining.
It was different, too.
Kendo stick on a pole match I just thought was hard to watch for so many reasons, and not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You want a kendo stick on a pole match to be hard to watch,
yeah,
but not because it's like nothing's happening and it's boring.
It was boring, and remember the way they booked Bailey? Like, I can't use this stick because it would make me a bad person.
Then why the fuck are you in this match?
She's a hugger, not a fighter.
Well, this is odd because my pick for this list is the Orton versus Rufus match because I personally felt this is almost a blue balls moment for me because I felt like Rufus going against Orton was like we're bringing him back up to that level again because Rufus had been treated like garbage for this long. And then 12 seconds, and he's right back down.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about this beforehand. You're gonna have to remind. I don't even remember what that was. Like I saw it on the list, and I don't remember anything.
It was at SummerSlam, and they had a match, and then 12 seconds,
like jobbed them right away to the RKO.
Bell rang, RKO, it was over. That was the match.
See, that was your own fault for getting excited because I knew that Rusev needs to be completely rehabbed to be wrong. Serious. Oh, sorry, Rufus needs to be completely rehabbed at this point. And yes, I love Rusev Day. I get enjoyment out of it, but he's not being booked seriously. And when you're that size and the ability he has, so yeah, that match obviously wasn't great. It was 12 seconds, but in 12 seconds, really, how bad can it be? At least it's over quick. They got
maybe it should have been a blue balls moment for me then.
Yeah, maybe.
I just felt like Rufus was being built back up, and then it was just like, nope, we trolled you back to where we started, So
below where he started.
So now, okay, so Dan picks kendo stick on a pole. You pick trick or street fight.
They had a pumpkin on it, Gallows' head for God's sakes.
I picked Orton Rufus, and Twitter vote picked House of Horrors. So we literally have a four-way split. So Emily.
Oh, okay.
Come on over here. You're going to be the deciding vote because...
Do we have the list up here?
We have the list right here. There's been a pick for each one. We're going to get a female's opinion.
No bias.
The female will be correct.
Yes.
Oh, maybe not correct.
Okay, well, I enjoyed House of Horrors. I thought it was fun and old school and just something really different. Pumpkin on the head. I mean, that just makes it better than the other two.
Oh, pumpkin on the head was this.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm going to this trick or street fight next, and the fact that there was a pumpkin on the head.
Gotcha.
And they've done it 3 other times.
They also also bobbing for apples.
It's always funny though. There's a reason why Vince loves that messy shit.
Yeah,
because
sophomore,
it's
he
funny.
likes sophomore shit like that.
Yeah, it's still funny.
Come on, Rufus.
For me, it's got to be between Rusev.
You are not pronouncing it.
That was so disappointing for me too, because I really love Rusev and I really love Randy Orton, and I agree with that. I think the kendo stick on a pole match was bad, but I think that it was more badly booked than being a bad match.
What's the worst match of the year, then?
I'm going to have to go with it's more disappointing than the kendo stick on a pole match, actually. Was
Rufus and Randy Orton, because of the build-up, because it could have been Rufus.
I agree. I'm with you on that one.
I think worst match. I'm going to say I don't care. You can pick whatever you want. I still disagree just because it was so short. To me, match, I think of like what happened in the ring.
No, you're right. I completely...
And outside the ring for House of Horrors.
No, I agree with you. And any one of these four was god-awful. I wouldn't want it to happen ever again. I mean, you could also put Punjabi Prison on that match. The Punjabi Prison match was hard. It was also hard to see. They should never do it again. And then to have Great Khali come out. So really, there was a whole list of things that we could have put on this thing. So I think it's cool that we all pick something different.
Randy, 50% on this list.
Yeah. So the winner of, or the loser of, the worst match of the year for 2017, Randy Orton, and Happy Rufus Day. All right, boys and girls, and you guys here at the table, whatever you like to call yourselves, we are down to our final category, the worst booked wrestler of the year in WWE. And our nominees are Dolph Ziggler, Bayley, Finn Balor, and Gallows and Anderson, also known as the Club, the Good Brothers, whatever you want to call them.
I like the Good Brothers.
I like Good Brothers. I think it's a cool name. Mm-hmm. I like that. And it doesn't matter what we like because they're not going to be booked well anyways. But they haven't been. So let's talk through this. Dolph Ziggler is tough because he just recently, maybe there's a little bit of a turnaround in the last couple of weeks where he wins the U.S. title and now he's dropping the title. He laid it down at his feet and just walked away on Smackdown last week. And maybe now I'm a little bit more interested. But this year, Dolph has had a shit year because he's just been basically jobber to the stars. Whoever they call up, Ty Dillinger,
he's a gatekeeper.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. So I mean, can you say that's worst booked? I mean, it's just killing his credibility, isn't it?
I mean, I think the notion of credibility in general, like, is kind of fluid. Like they can book somebody however they want. Yeah. And honestly, I know fans are gonna complain, but if they start booking him well next year, you're gonna forgive all that.
Yeah, you're right. He could have a terrible 1 year or a couple months, and it all gets turned around. I mean, think about like Braun Strowman. He's now a monster, and he was like a joke 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
I don't know if Braun Strowman was ever a joke. When was Braun Strowman a joke?
He was a joke. He couldn't move. The whole thing was. Do you remember when the rumor was it was going to be him versus Taker, and people were like, "Oh my God, no, he can't wrestle."
Maybe not be able to wrestle, but I don't think he was ever booked as like a joke. Like, oh, people are walking all over him. Is what we're saying here.
All right. So
don't throw Braun into Mr. Ziggler's category. Here.
The zigzag would take down Braun Strowman so fast. You know my love of the zigzag. You know I love that finisher. Just boom out of nowhere. It's not like a running... At least it has a fucking name, too. Running power slam. Get out of here.
I also think Dolph Ziggler, and this is maybe not a fair way to judge it, but Dolph Ziggler hasn't really had historically great booking anyway, like the past couple years.
Yeah, for a long time, yeah.
It's not like it's a surprise to see it again this year.
He got that title reign, lost it due to concussion, and then they kind of just like never gave him the ball back after that. And it's just been... shitty booking.
So this is like kind of par for the course for him this year.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and let's think about it. I can't remember if that was this year, but I swear it was this year. He had the like little feud with Miz where it was his last chance to win the title, and he won the title. Now he won the U.S. title this year. So, I mean, his booking, I agree, hasn't been great, and it seems like par for the course for Dolph.
He was a sole survivor at Survivor Series like 2 years ago.
Don't get Sam started on that.
It was awesome.
When they had him be the sole, I'm like, this is it. This is the start to back like another like huge meteoric run. They're going to tap into this, and then they did nothing. I was like, why did I get so happy when this happened at Survivor Series?
He very well may be worst booked wrestler, but it's not a surprise.
It's normal for him. Yeah. So all right, so Bayley. What a weird year she's had because she came out. Wasn't it just this year she debuted, or was it last year? I can't even remember now. Everything seems so far away. Remember we thought that the Darren Young thing was this
make Darren Young great again. I guess it coincided with Trump.
Yeah,
I think it was last year.
Yeah. So anyway, so Bayley, I think she won the women's title this year. She was a champion this year. It seems so long ago, but really it could have been. Whether it was or wasn't, she's a former women's champion is my point. Mm-hmm. And now she's kind of like a joke who can't even swing a kendo stick.
Yeah.
So she was already on for our worst match of the year. So do we think Bayley had the worst year of this year?
I mean... Worst booked? It's tough to say. We have some other nominees.
It's definitely up there, but there's a lot of competition in this category.
True. I mean, and she's talented. As Sam would say, she's also thick, right? She's got to go on, like from the hips down.
Yeah, like thicker than some of the other girls, yes.
Yeah.
And she's been a little bit forgotten about because now you have, like, Alexa Bliss came over to WWE. came over to Raw, held the title. Asuka got brought into Raw. Yeah. There's always...
You got to wonder if she'll ever even get
Sasha's always on everybody's mind. Yep. So now you've had Absolution Paige re-debut, so she's become a little bit of a forgotten commodity. So,
but she still gets that when that music hits, she gets the pop, which is kind of weird that they would book her the way she has, considering how much the fans love her and the chants like, "Hey, Bayley," but whatever. All right, so Finn Balor, dude is obviously very talented. Last year, he was the Universal Champion, and they like to say for like a million times the first ever. Michael Cole, that's all he says about him. Mm-hmm. The first ever! Okay, great. That was a long time ago. He's kind of had a shitty year.
Yeah, and not to throw Finn Balor under the bus. I think Finn Balor is great, but like he doesn't always, like when he's on the mic, it's not always solid, so that's at least partially on him.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You don't really like get behind him.
Yeah, but the booking really doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Similar to Dolph, he got the ball handed to him, and he got hurt. That ends with the buckle bomb. Rollins hurting somebody. Go figure. Then he came back, and there's rumors that he was going to be thrust right into challenging Brock at SummerSlam. I had heard, and that never came to fruition. And now he's kind of just. Like we said the other night, you called it, you're like, oh, he's going to face Kurt Hawkins. It's like...
Yep.
And he's faced him a few times now, I can remember. And they're kind of just like, at this point, not knowing what to do with him. I almost feel like we had him on, or...
we didn't have him on the show.
I was going to say, where was this?
No,
I missed that one.
We were talking earlier about some of the worst things this year, and one of them was the Demon versus Sister. That whole feud kind of fell apart because Bray got sick, whatever the hell you want to call it, whatever he caught. The JoJo.
I have a hard time. buying Balor as a main event guy anymore. He was the first Universal Champion, and now if you were to stick him in that main event, would you believe in him again? I don't know. I wanted to see a David and Goliath, him versus Brock, but now the way he's been booked the last few months, which this category is, he lost to Kane clean. 2 weeks after Kane debuted.
And what really irritated me, he did that right after he beat AJ Styles.
Yeah, the night after he beat AJ Styles. He loses. So
that's just weird booking
that means
right
Kane's
there.
better than AJ Styles, basically, is what we're saying.
That's what Vince would have you believe.
It would, yes.
He would, because Vince created Kane.
And I told you, this is my thing. Anybody Vince created is always going to be in the main event at Mania.
You dig up Andre right now and have him go over AJ.
Tinfoil hats on.
Yep, you will.
Here we go. Conspiracy theories.
Oh, that's right. Kayfabe boy over here doesn't believe in anything that we come up with. He thinks that Vince is always out for his best interest as the fan. No, sir. I guarantee you, anybody that didn't get famous under Vince's watch will never...
I don't think Vince has my best interest in mind, but I'm willing to see what Vince wants to do. I'm willing to go along in his journey.
Okay. Well,
now, do you want to bring up on this one the fan vote?
Oh, yeah, we totally can. Because the fourth nominee and the winner of the fan vote are the Good Brothers / the club, who were involved in the aforementioned Trick or Street fight. They're selling T-shirts now. They're like the WWE shop people. Mm-hmm. Aren't they having a feud with Titus Worldwide or something like that? Is that what's going on here? Where we don't know who to cheer for because...
With 3 hours left in the vote, they hold 32% of the 90 votes that were cast. And we did get one comment that said, while you're enjoying Christmas Raw, help us out by voting. Yeah. One of our followers tweeted to us, or as Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson would say, nerds!
Yeah.
Which we are.
We are nerds. Yeah. I think that they've had the worst book. The only problem that I have with picking them is because they had no moments. Like, I don't know if they had any momentum coming into 2017. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they've been booked so badly for so long. Yeah. Were they even the title holders this year at all?
I don't think so.
It was just Club and Shield back and forth, pretty much,
might be wrong, but I don't think
Maybe
so.
you
mean
Bar. Bar and Shield, Yeah. with New Day maybe in there a little bit. But I think they've had a terrible year, and they're on the level of Rhino and Slater at this point.
Yeah, and I think those guys they have way more potential than they've been given. So
and they have a cool finisher with a name, which is awesome.
Yeah, they came in hot right away, and they have these credentials of their run over in Japan. They both can talk on the mic. They have a few little catchphrase type things.
Yeah,
and like you said, they have some cool tag team moves. Gallows is a big dude. Anderson's more the small worker type, and it's just like they're doing nothing with him.
It makes sense in the world of tag, like especially old school tag team wrestling. The perfect things: the big guy and the technical guy.
And on top of it, at one point, they were like AJ's like, they were making allusion to how they were boys overseas or in Japan, whatever you want to call it, and now it's just like they're like fodder.
Yep.
Yeah, I think hands down, looking at this list, the ones that I would like to see doing more and doing better are the club.
Yeah, absolutely, because they can do more, and Raw needs tag teams.
Yeah,
I think it's insane how many good tag teams are on SmackDown on a 2-hour show, and we have 2 tag teams on Raw. Why did we move the New Day over to SmackDown?
Well, Revival just came back. Did they come back on
Revival
Raw?
did come back, yeah. So, okay,
back.
But now the Shield's out. Although I guess now it's Rollins and Jason Jordan. So I guess you have them, the Bar, and the Revival. Are there 3 tag teams? And then what? My point is there's just not enough credible tag teams on Raw, and you could easily put the Good Brothers, the club, in there. So
they debuted. I was just taking a look at it to get some stats here, and I was trying to take a look at their debut date. So they came in WWE. You want to pause it? I thought I had it up and I went away.
I almost kind of don't want to pause it. I'm going to let you be. But you're not as good of a stat boy as there. So you were looking up what now?
So I was looking up when the club debuted. So it looks like they debuted in April of 2016. Remember, they came on and they have like a pretty cool debut. They came in, attacked after a match, hit their finisher, which they talked about the name already. They talked about where they came from, and you really felt like, all right, this is gonna be a tag team to reckon with. And now, what are we? Maybe 18, 19 months later, and it's like they're an afterthought.
They're a total afterthought.
Yeah.
So for me, that's our winner of this category.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hands down because I think Finn Balor's had a shitty year, but definitely as far as potential, I think
this is worst book, not shittiest year.
Okay, worst book. They were booked terribly, so there's your winner. All right, fellas, so we have been through the 7 categories, and we've got down to the final 7. What was the absolute worst, god-awful fucking thing in 2017 besides Sam, no last name? We got, here's the seven things. Now tell me what you think when I say this. What's brings the most sickening, like stomach, just gross, cringeworthy, just shit. You hate it so much. You got it, right? You're gross. You want to throw up.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna. All right, so we've got Orton and Rufus, that match at SummerSlam. We've got
all 12 seconds of it?
Yeah, all 12 seconds of it. We have the Good Brothers, the club, as the worst booked of 2017, which I think is pretty solid. Bailey, This Is Your Life. Alexa Bliss did that skit there. It was kind of like gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
Mike Kanellis was our worst newcomer of the year because he came on and the gimmick was odd and, just... Then we had Mojo Rawley, who's a piece of shit and doesn't know how to wrestle or talk or have good music or good moveset. So... Okay. The R-Truth Gold Dust for Blue Balls. Kind of hurt just thinking about it, don't they? You think, oh my god, balls hurt. And then Tamina's entrance music. Do you want me to sing it for you?
Please.
Ta-me-na. So, yeah, I know, right? Terrible.
Yeah.
So, Sam, when you hear those 7 things, what do you think is the absolute worst thing in WWE? What makes you sick to your stomach?
Want to go through the list? Sick to my stomach.
I'm sure it makes you. I'm sure you've done a lot of sick things in your life, but you know what I mean. Tell me what you think. For
me, I mean, out of those 7, the worst of those 7 for me, it's got to be This Is Your Life.
I know, right? It's so hard not to say that. It really is.
I mean, of all the things, literally watching it immediately, 2 minutes into it, I'm like, this is a train wreck of train wrecks, and then it just kept going and going and going, and then it got worse and worse, and ends up with, like I said before, like two people we don't know making out in a ring. Like, how does that make any sense?
It's different if it's two people we know and we're like, oh my god, this is going to lead to something.
It's huge.
No,
it's
just two actors making out in the ring.
It's not like we could be like, oh my god, her boyfriend all along, like this girl. Like, you know, like...
Yeah. Dan, I mean, do you disagree? I mean, it's so hard to stick anything else.
I'm in the same place. Like, watching it just went on and on and on, and like should have stopped so much easier. And I can see what they were going for, and you could tell that it immediately was failing, and they were just kind of floundering, and it didn't go anywhere, and it was awful. I'm never gonna watch it again.
Yeah,
I can't watch it again.
I don't think they probably won't even put it on the network. Honestly, I wonder if they cut it out, because you know how when they put things on, they cut things out.
Sometimes, yeah. I think they'll leave this one.
You think they will?
I think it'll be on there.
We should go back and try to watch that.
They're not going to Benoit this?
Now I have to go back and cut out the Benoit. Oh, and that Benoit. Oh, and that Benoit. Oh, no, it's never ending.
Speaking of things that make you sick to your stomach, that would have been something literally that makes you sick to your stomach. This is just more like terrible wrestling.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so my nominee for the worst thing of 2017 is Mojo Rawley. They should not have him on Smackdown, on Raw, on NXT, or even in ACW. He should not be wrestling because he doesn't have a good gimmick, music, moveset, or personality. He can't talk, he can't move, he can't punch. You saw those punches he did to Mojo Rawley, to Zack Ryder. He's just awful. We should get him off my television.
I'm going to talk to Ace and see if Mojo ever drops out of WWE, if he can get him on ACW.
I'm not interviewing him. I'm not doing it. You can take all this equipment, all this fancy equipment you see in this recording studio.
Maybe get hooked up with some Gronk, too. It'd be fun.
That would be
party with
awesome.
Gronk.
So I guess because I was 1 vote and you were 2 votes, I guess that This Is Your Life will win the worst shit of the year. Yeah, so congratulations.
We can't let your hatred of Mojo take over the entire...
You know, I wanted to vote with you, but then I looked again at the list and I was like, wow, that's a terrible music. That was really, my balls were blue there. But Mojo Rawley, what a piece of shit. He was shit in NXT. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
You were there?
Yeah.
You saw? I mean, it got awful.
I wanted to like Mojo Rawley a couple times, and every single time I came away saying, it's not that great. Yeah, but This Is Your Life was still worse than Mojo Rawley.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for the inaugural?
First ever?
Oh, yeah, the first ever Dorky Awards celebrating the worst of WWE. What do you think? Get on the Twitter machine. Vote with us. Vote against us. Check us out at Tapped Out Pod. Check out this guy at
The Real SCAP.
Yeah, he's got like 8 followers at this point. And, check us out.
Not team follow back here.
No, he doesn't follow you back. If you're looking for follow backs, unless you're a hot chick, you're not going to get a follow back.
I hardly follow anybody back.
What if it was a hot chick, though?
No, why do we... I want to see what they say. Like, I follow, like, wrestling chicks. Yes, they are hot, but not just a random hot chick. Because they're bots. They're sex bots.
So if you're hot, you wrestle, you're a chick, and you want to follow back, then follow Sam. Go on to tappedoutpod.com and, check out the show and what the fuck is it? iTunes,
God, you're
Stitcher,
the worst.
Google Play.
You should have won the worst of 2017.
Hey, if Mojo Rawley comes on the show, he can vote for me for the worst podcast host of the year. But check us out on all those outlets. Thank you, Dan the Third Man, for joining us here this week. We're very happy to have you.
He's the third guy.
He is. He's Dan the Third Man. People say Dan the Man, and it's like idiotic, but in this case, the third man fits, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It really does.
I'll take it.
It's pretty good. So thanks again for joining us, guys, and we'll catch you next week for an all-new 2018 edition of the Guerrilla Press.
Later.